Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Hello, hi, David. Hi, Carla. Hi, Chloe. Hello, hello. Okay, so let's get started. Welcome back, everyone, to the ADPList and Notion original series on personal productivity and knowledge management. Myself, Utkarsh, Global Expansion Lead at ADPList, and I'll be your host for this series. And just like the first session, let's get started by rating our own Notion skills. And I would say I'm going to do this in every class, just like a broken recorder, so that we know where we started from, where we are presently, and what's the benchmark that we want to set for our own selves. Right? Okay. So just like the first session, let us know in the chat how would you rate your own Notion skills, starting from 1 to 5, where 1 is if you're very new to Notion, a newbie maybe, and 5 is if you feel like a pro. Okay, a lot of 1 this time. That is interesting. Okay, okay. Jackie and Roman says that they rank themselves as a 4. I guess I'm yet to see someone rank them as a 5. I can see some 1.5, 2.1. Okay, that's interesting. A solid 4. Okay, any 5s here? I'm really desperate to see a 5 in the chat. Okay, okay, okay. I'll be a 5 after today. Okay, thanks, Aaron. Thanks for that. Okay, yeah. If you missed the workshop for the first session, so feel free to check out the recording. It is very simple. Just after every live class ends, you'll be able to view the recording. The process for that is simple. On the top of your screen, you'll be able to see the schedule button. When you click on that, just after the session name, you'll be able to see a button saying watch replay. Once you click on that, you'll be able to see the recordings. But do attend the live class first and then see the recording for the previous sessions. Otherwise, you will miss both the sessions in that case. Okay. Thanks a lot, everyone, for sharing your rating in the chat here. So we will keep this in mind, as well as I would say this also helps you every time you put up a rating to yourself, so that you can benchmark yourself and keep on learning. And that ways you have a target, a milestone that you want to chase for yourself. Okay, so we had a blast in the first session, and really thankful for all of you who reached out after the first session with a lot of positive energy. For the second one, we have Esteban with us, and Esteban is a friend of the creative creators. I would say he's a consultant and a content creator who helps individuals and organizations bring their best ideas into reality. He specializes in knowledge management and organizational systems. He's also a content innovation specialist at Faithlife. And there's the last and final thing about him. He lives in Mexico with his wife and works for companies on a worldwide scale. So please help me welcome Esteban on the stage. And over to you, Esteban.
Hey, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Likewise, thank
So
you, Esteban.
I didn't see a 5. I want to learn from them because I'm still learning all the things that Notion can offer. And I think that last, hey, from Mexico too, nice. I think Notion it's a great tool, but uh, I feel that you're not going to master it because I think you will always find new ways to use it. So saludos a los de Latinoamérica, by the way, in my native Spanish. And I want to share with you some ideas on how to turn your best ideas into reality. So, are we ready to present? Are we waiting for something else yet?
No, absolutely. Let's get started from here. Yeah.
Okay, let's get started.
So we have close to 1,000 people that have joined in live at the moment, and I can see that number still spiking up. So yeah, let's get started for now.
Great. So, this is a short presentation how to turn your best ideas into reality. I'm excited to share this with you because I think this is one of my favorite topics. I started using Notion for this particular use case, and then I moved into the knowledge management sphere, which I really love. And I want to share some background about me. So here's my notino that a friend of mine, Roxana, who is also presenting here later this next week, I think. She made this. So kudos to her. Uh, this bottom left is a picture of me 10 years ago, I think. Yeah, while I was presenting an idea on a web app. Um, so yeah, 10 years ago, very, very little. And I since then I've created some courses for some online platforms. And the thing I liked most is to the in-person events. So I really like to eat with people and to share stories. I really like to see how they try to organize their ideas, and I like to make some projects with them. So this is me. I like to help others to bring their best ideas into reality. So that's what we are going to do now. I want you to take a moment to dream. Who do you want to be? What do you want to do? Where do you want to be? So I would like to take a moment. Maybe you don't need to write this into the chat. Maybe you can write it into a piece of paper, and then we're going to move them to Notion. Or if you have Notion open, that would be great. You can start writing there. So I want to take a moment to think about these three questions. Who do you want to be? What do you want to do? And where do you want to be? If there are some people in the chat that want to share some ideas, that would be great. Maybe you're studying something and you want to become, I don't know, something. I would love to hear about that. Maybe you want to buy a house. Maybe you want to get married. Maybe you want to have kids. Maybe you want to develop an artist. Great. Oh, I also want to learn to draw. Notion expert like Esteban. Hopefully. Freedom to travel anywhere, anytime. Thank you, Troy. Misael Medina says, "I want to become financial independent." Oh yeah, that's a good one. Community growth manager and enable women to return to work after career break. Yeah, that's very very important. Uh, the best version of myself, doing my best. User researcher. I can do both. Yeah, I want to become someone with healthy work-life balance. So I really like these ideas. I think they are good dreams, and I want to. Well, this is the timer, so keep dreaming. We are going to keep sharing this. We're going to stay here like a minute, something like that. UI designer, accepted and not feel like an imposter. Yeah, that's a real one. Help business to grow and improve. Um, Financially independent. So I see finance, health, career, UX designer, finding a job that I love, career in diplomacy. I was talking to my wife about that, the importance of that. I want to be president of Venezuela. Nice. So yeah, keep them coming. Rate myself A5 in Notion skill. Yeah. I want to switch to UX designing and writing. So I see a lot of ideas about career, and I think people have a dream. Uh, they want to do something. For example, I want to develop an app, but I'm not UX expert, so I would like to work with someone who is. Um, Tech industry to become more humanized and not so profit driven. Yeah, I like that one. So let's keep dreaming, and if you can, keep writing that into a Notion workspace. So I really like this quote from David Allen. It's a book. It's called Getting Things Done. And I would like. I'm curious. Have you read this book? Have you heard about this book? Do you use a GTD system? Uh, I use a variation of this system in my Notion workspace, and I really like it because I heard but not read. Yeah, that was me. Also, I tried to apply that, and then I read the book, and then I was able to apply a better system. Mhm. Yeah, journal system, bullet journal system. That's a good one. So I'm going to read this quote. There's a sense that somehow there's probably something we should be doing that we are not, which creates a tension for which there is no resolution and from which there is no rest. And this is in the context of the tasks. So maybe you're working on something, you're studying or something, and then you start dreaming, oh, I want to learn this, and you remember that course that you bought. Or if you're watching this recording, uh, maybe you were doing something else and you remember, oh yeah, I should watch that recording. And then you're watching the recording and something else come to your mind, and I need to do the groceries, and you get distracted. And there's this tension in your brain that conflicts with your present moment and uh, with who you want to be or what do you want to do in the future. So I want you to think about this idea of this gap between your present or your present and your future. You wrote some ideas on how do you see yourself in the future. So if you think about how you're now and what do you need in order to become what you want to be, how does this gap how can you close this gap? I want you to think about that. Let's turn those ideas into reality. So we first start with a thinking. So this is Notion, some screenshots, and this is a Notion blog. It's a to-do list blog, and maybe you start by doing a list of tasks, and you say, "Hey, I should have a vision and mission for my life, for my company, for my project, for my group, for my school, etc." And then you start developing that idea. So that to-do list uh, moves into a notes database, and you start developing those ideas using toggles, and you develop the idea of how do you need to develop your vision, or how do you are going to develop your mission. And then you do it, and you create that beautiful Notion page with those emojis and those headings and those call outs and the quotes and all that stuff, and you start acting on that. So I want to do this, but with your goals. First, we need to think about a dream, an idea, something that we want to become. Then we need to start developing that idea, and then we need to work towards that idea. This is so exciting, but distractions. So I would like you to know how or what's the most common way you get distracted? I want you to read. I want to read those answers in the chat. So, for example, I get very distracted because when I feel like something is difficult, I go to take a snack. I really love that. Social media notifications, reading the news. Oh yeah, TikTok. Yeah, I spent an afternoon on TikTok. After that, I deleted that app. Yeah, I was weak, so I'm not going back anytime soon. YouTube. Oh yeah, I get distracted by YouTube. Reddit. I work from home and my dog is so cute but very needy and distracting. Oh yeah. The doggy. Internet. What if I do multitasking every day? It affects. We can talk about that. If you want to ask some questions, there's a section of Q&A, and we can go back there after. So I want to mention that so no questions get lost. YouTube and food, wife, email, my pet. Oh yeah, I when I get an idea, I go with my wife and I start talking and talking and talking, and yeah, that's a good time, but also a distraction from my main task. Social media, get distracted when there are people around me. I focus better when I'm alone. So I see a lot of puppies. uh, Apparently, cats don't distract us, or do they? Jumping between tasks. Um, I need to think about the problem. Oh, yes. Yeah, we procrastinate because we don't have the answer to our problem. Notifications. Uh, I like that reward idea. My children, email newsletters. Oh, yeah. We have a lot of things that we want to read, and we say, hey, maybe I should start with my list of 500 items that I haven't read. Now is a good time that we have work to do. I'm just kidding, but we usually do that. Okay. Oh, yes. I think this is my favorite one, because I was that person. Like 3 years ago, I lost that answer. Where is it? Yeah, searching for the perfect system. Yeah, I feel you. So when I started working on Notion, I did zero work, but my workspace was beautiful. Then I learned that a good workspace is not beautiful; it's useful. But we'll talk about that later. Okay, distractions. I really like this breakdown of the word. Latin origin is distrahere. I think I don't speak Latin, so if someone can correct my pronunciation, that's great. This is apart. Trahere is drag. So a distraction is something that drags you apart from something. So uh, some examples: memes, reports that we need to do, articles, email, uh, YouTube. I forgot to add TikTok here. Maybe other people. I added a meme there, but we'll use that as pets. um, there are a lot of distractions out there, and I when I understood this idea of drag apart from something, my idea of distractions changed, because I added a key aspect of my um, idea of focus or productivity, and that is that you can get distracted if you know you have a path and you want to follow that path and you get pulled from it. Uh, what does this mean? That is that sometimes I felt I was very distracted because I wanted to do a lot of things, but I realized that I didn't have a clear path or a clear goal that I was trying to pursue. So I was just running in circles. This is interesting. I want to become a developer. So I found a course. So I signed up and I started doing that class. And then I got hungry. And then I thought about, hey, I should learn how to cook better. So I look for a video on YouTube. So that's like the that episode of what's the series? Uh, Someone can remind me of the dad tries to repair something and then he discovers that there's something else broken, and he ends up trying to fix the car in order to fix a light bulb, something like that. Um, yeah, we are many. So there are a lot of home improvement. Yeah, that's our whole right. So the idea of distractions are is that we are getting distracted from something, but are we getting ourselves distracted, or is that we just don't have a clear path to follow? I think most of the times is that we do not have a clear path, we do not have a plan or a goal that we are pursuing, so we are just running around and we feel like we are getting distracted all the time. So if you don't really know when you've met your purpose of when you're off track, you don't have a viable directive. Oh yeah, Malcolm in the Middle episode. Yeah, that one. I really like this quote from the book I mentioned earlier. We need to know if we are on track or off track, but sometimes we don't know where we're going. So the question is, how can I achieve my goals? Do you have a map? I like this idea. I recently played uh what's the name of the game? Super Mario Odyssey, I think that's the name of the game. And the goal is to rescue the princess. And you know the story Bowser, so that's practically the Mario Bros movie. And that made me realize that sometimes we need a goal like rescue the princess in the game, and then we're moving from world to world, and we have these little like mini tasks that we need to accomplish. So for example, I was on the level of the desert, so there is a Mexican theme there that I really liked. uh, so there were like mini objectives in that world, and I had to complete I don't remember how many stars or moons I had to collect. But in order to achieve to my next step, I had to work on those little tasks. So I like the analogy of the this game because you can have like a main goal that you're trying to pursue, and in order to achieve that goal, you need to break down that goal into smaller goals. So that's like the mini worlds of Mario Bros. And in each world, you need to solve different challenges. But if you distract yourself trying to solve all the challenges, and you like, I don't know, you're in the desert and you say, hey, maybe I could build a house here or explore everything or take a vacation here, and you get distracted and you forget that your main goal, or the goal from Mario, is to rescue the princess and to fight Bowser. So you forget your main goal because you are too busy dealing with the day-to-day life tasks. So, do you have a map? This is what we're going to develop in this session. We're going to have a map that is going to help us to get focus constantly, and that's important. And we can still work on our little goals, but we will be sure to advance in our main goal. I'm going to read the comments, so feel free to comment and to ask questions to answer later. Rescuing Peach for 50 years and counting. Yeah, I know. Being distracted feels like I can't read that word. Re, yeah, to a comfort zone sometimes. Please, my English is not that good, so if you can give me an explanation of that word. Worst game for distraction is Zelda, though. Yeah, you have a goal and you end up doing 30 other things. So, for all the gamers out there, yeah, you will feel this idea of getting distracted by a little things uh, that are not the main thing. So, uh, you can walk 26 miles and still arrive to the same place. I remember this episode of The Office. I don't know if you have watched it. Maybe I'll spoiler alert from one episode. I think Michael does this. Uh, uh, I don't remember the goal of that race. Walkabout. Retreating to a comfort zone. Thank you. Yeah. So in The Office, Michael does a circuit. I think that's the name of the track. And they run, I don't remember how many miles, and they end up in the farthest point of the from the office, and someone says to Michael, hey, why you didn't make this a circle so we could go back to the place we need to be. So that's the difference between walking 26 miles in a straight line, or walking 26 miles to the same place and arrive to the same place. In that case, they wanted to arrive to the same place, but the illustration is that Michael didn't thought about returning to the same place. He just was thinking about going to the farthest place, and that's all he had. So uh, we actually want to do what Michael did in that episode of having a goal and not going back to the same place running in circles. Thank you for the English. Uh, I have a goal that I will share with you all about learning Spanish. So uh, here's my Notion, or a screenshot of my Notion dashboard. I have this weekly review system that I can share with you the idea if you want to use them. And I have these like weekly questions that help me to remember what do I want to pursue. So this is a gallery database, and I have each week I answer some questions. I'll show you in a moment. So I've been doing this for I think 2 3 years, and I feel semana. Semana is week in Spanish. So reflexión is reflection, and semana week. Uh, Completed, completado, and the questions are in Spanish. Sorry. uh, the idea here is that each week I get a time to reflect on what I did in this previous week, and those moments. It's sometimes it's just 5 minutes, 15 minutes. It's not that very much uh, the time that I spend on that, but those little moments help me to um, um, reorientate myself into what I want to do. And I want to share this idea with you. If you have a goal, you are not going to walk straight to it. You need to set an aim, and then you start walking through it, or to it. And then along the way, you will discover that, hey, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should pursue this similar thing. And with each iteration of your weekly review, you will learn more about yourself. And maybe you think, hey, maybe I don't want to become an artist. Maybe I want to become a storyteller, and I want to write some words, or vice versa. Maybe I wanted to write some short stories, but I discovered that I can share more if I make an illustration and share it with my friends. Or maybe I want to become, or I want to have a company so I can travel. And maybe you realize that what you really want is to have freedom to live anywhere, and to have your own schedule. So having a company of yourself is not the best idea. Maybe you want to work with some clients and that's it. Or maybe you want something more solid, and you end up working for a company. For example, I still work with my company because I'm learning a lot. Uh, 3 years ago, I was thinking on quitting and devoting myself to consultant work. I really like to do that, but at the company I'm at, I keep learning, and I learned that I can relate more with people that work in a company if I work in a company. So I'm not saying like, hey, you should do this, and be completely detached from the actual workplace. I know the struggles, I know the frustrations with the coworkers, or this should have been an email. Sorry about the noise. Uh, so I learned that I was giving more value to my clients if I worked at a company, because I could relate more with the employees, because I'm an employee. So my goal was to quit, and along the way I discovered that that was not my goal. My goal was to help others to achieve their goals, and one way I can achieve that goal is to stay at my job. So this is the great thing about goals and constant reflection, is that you can adjust your goal based on your um, your experience and what you learn, and from having a good time, good talks with other people. Uh, but oh yes, this seems like a great blend of productivity and mindfulness. Love it. So this idea of, well, not this one, but one I'm going to share later, is from Anne Lore. She runs Nest Labs, and I really love her work, and I think I become a good friend with her, because we blend this mindfulness and productivity. By the way, if you have questions, this is a reminder to put them in the Q&A, so we can go back to them, and you can add them as comments also, so we can talk about them now. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to set a destination, we need to start moving forward, and then we need to adjust the course. So first, do you have a destination? Do you know where you want to go? Sometimes this is very frequent. We are on TikTok and we see, well, it's not my case, but uh, this is an example from that time that I spent an afternoon looking at TikToks. And I remember I was seeing some physics experiments, and that was very interesting. And I was like, huh, I should learn to do that. I want to learn some physics stuff so I can do videos. Or maybe I saw a dog, so I wanted to have a pet. And then I saw something related to Python, and I was like, I should learn that library. And this constant switching from goal to goal, uh, I think it harms us a lot, because we want to be everything, we want to do everything. And one thing I discover is that we are in a time when we can do a lot of things. In the past 100 years ago, 200 years ago, that wasn't possible, because first, you didn't have all the ideas that you have now. We are bombarded with all these things that we can do. In the past for I remember my grandfather. He was working uh, in a place that was near his house. Sorry, uh, and he was doing stuff because that's the kind of stuff that was available for him in that context, in that place, at that moment. So his opportunities were mm, limited by the context. Right now, we are watching videos from uh, I don't remember. I saw Iran, I saw Canada, Mexico, Venezuela, all those places, and we are comparing ourselves to all those people. So if someone in the other part of the world is doing something or achieving something, we are seeing that and we want to do that. That's something that is happening in this time in history for the first time. So we have a lot of things that we know we can do. So we are not our society is not made for that, because usually it's like, I'm going to do my profession and I'm going to pass that profession to my kids and 4 generations. But now, if you want to do 5 years of a software agency, you can work on that. And if then you want to become an artist, you can become an artist. And if then you want to become a musician, you can do that, because there's tutorials on YouTube, there's opportunities, there are courses. You can learn from anyone in the world, like we're doing right now, and that was not possible a lot of years ago. So uh, it's hard now to have a focus on a destination that we want to where we want to go. So that's the main challenge. We need to set a destination, we need to move forward, and then we need to adjust the course. So a note on the law of the vital few. So I was reading a book yesterday called Deep Work, and I got this idea of the vital few, but this is also known as the Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20, and it has another name. I don't remember the name, but it says that 20% of the input is responsible for the 80% of the outcome. So, for example, if you want to do X and you devote some time to it, maybe you are, yeah, that book, Deep Work. It's great, the one that someone sent in the chat. If you want to work on something, uh, let me rephrase that. If you have like 10 projects and maybe those 10 projects are good ideas, but maybe of those 10 projects or 10 goals, just two of them are really worth pursuing. So if you think that you want to become a UX designer, because that's what I remember, maybe your goal is to, I don't know, let's put an example in your head. You want to do that, but also you can do these 9 other things, but you need to decide on what you should be focusing on, because if you have like 100 coins, let's say that, and you apply 10 coins to each one of those projects, maybe the amount you need to make progress for each project is 30 coins. And if you put just 10 coins, then you're not going to progress in anything, because you're trying to work in everything. So we need to focus on that. This is another book from David Allen. Besides the noble art of getting things done, so this is a good complement to this other book. There is the noble art of leaving things undone. The wisdom of life consists in the elimination of non-essentials. There's another book called The Four Disciplines of Execution. Uh, uh, if you remember the last name Covey, like from another book, Seven is not the same author, but this family. In determining your wildly important goal, don't ask what's most important. Instead, begin by asking if every other area of our operation remain at its current level of performance, what is the one area where change would have the greatest impact? So maybe your the previous book title. It's Ready for Anything. If you want to, or yeah, there it is. Ready for Anything. This is a great book. I totally recommend it. The Four Disciplines of Execution. This is a very very actionable book. So if you haven't read it, mm, this is one of my foundations too. So we need to learn how to eliminate the non-essentials too. This is very important because we need to focus on what's important. Okay, so let's create this in Notion. I want everyone to, if you're watching the recording, maybe pause the video, go to your Notion workspace, open a blank page, totally blank. And if you are live session, I'm going to give you a 1 minute to get ready to create things in Notion. And while you get ready, I want to share this idea with you. Think carefully about how you shape your tools today, for they will shape for they will shape you tomorrow. This is something I learned from Ivan Shao, the founder of Notion. I was uh, attending a conference he gave, and he was giving this example of cars, and that really stayed with me until now. If you remember, like cities, if you have watched some movies from I don't know, sometime 100 years ago or 200, no, maybe 300 and before, you'll notice that the cities were very different from the cities right now. So right now, every city has highways and streets and parking lots, and every mall has, I don't know the percentage. Like the store is this place and the parking lot is this big space. If you go to Costco, the first thing that you need to do is to find the space to park. Uh, and that's, I think, the the area, the bigger area. So if you think about it, cars shape our reality. It's not that they literally start building roads or start building parking lots. It's because that tool that we build as humans, uh, that tool that we build, then that tool shaped our reality. So we have now streets, and that's because we created a tool that was used for transportation, and that tool shaped our current world. That's going to happen with your Notion workspace. Once you shape your workspace will shape you. You will become what you put in your workspace in Notion. So it's very important to think on how you shape your tools because they will shape you tomorrow. And on the other hand, you don't need to spend a lot of time shaping your tools. Uh, in the first day, week, you will be shaping your tools constantly. I still do changes to my Notion workspace. I don't know. It's not that frequent, but sometimes I see something and I'm like, huh, maybe I should implement this in my workspace. And then I change it because I want it to shape me in the future with those new ideas. Uh, Okay, so I have a comment here. Just realize my one thing that would make me the most difference is the one I avoid the most. Yeah, that's very true. Grateful for that insight. Thank you for the comment too. Uh, that is very important because we tend to procrastinate on the most important task of the day and the most important goal of our lives. So I'll stop sharing here and I'm going to switch to my Notion workspace. So this is not a template. Uh, whoops, here we are. This is a page where I have some examples, but I want you to shape your own tools. Okay, so here we are in a Notion page. So it's the size of the the letters okay? If you can see it, okay? Um, please. Okay, I see some thumbs up. Great, thank you. Oh, the reactions are great. Thank you. Uh, what tools are we supposed to be shaping? I will appreciate if you can put that into the Q&A section because that's something I want to deep further in at the end of this session. But I'll answer it shortly. Uh, the tools that you need to shape is the ones that you use. So, for example, if you use Notion, you need to be shaping Notion so it can be of help for you. If you read a lot, you may want to shape your library, or, for example, maybe a book is not per se a tool, but the you read will determine the thoughts you'll have. The people you follow in social media will shape the ideas that you will have in the future. The people that you surround yourself with are the people that will um, shape your thinking in your life. So those are not tools. That applies for everything. Shape what you interact with. That's the principle. Everything that you interact with, you need to shape it. Let's say that. Any template links for today? Not for now. I want to share this with you because I want you to do your own tools. Because if you grab my tools, you are going to be shaped to my form. Let's say that. But I think templates are a great idea for uh, sharing ideas. It comes from with free therapy. Yes, I think the for example in here the most important aspect of learning how to use Notion is not how to create a checkbox, is to have a purpose and to have clarity on how to use it. So that's why I spend a lot of time sharing how to use or why to use the principles, and then you will apply these principles to Notion very easily because there are a lot of um, sessions coming up. And I remember seeing, for example, Sarah is going to share, I think, about tasks. So she's going to teach you a lot of databases. So I know she is very expert in her field. So I know she's going to do a great work. Okay, so dreams. I want to be, I want to do, I want to become, I want to achieve. At the beginning of this session, we had this moment to think about the dreams that we wanted to have. So these ideas are for me. This is something I wanted to share along the talk. So here are the tasks. So now that we have our dreams, we are going to go through these three tasks. Uh, this is something that you will need to do uh, in in a place where you can focus. Maybe you want to schedule some time to work on this. So that's why we are not going to have time for do it right now because I want you to do it later. Or if you are watching the recording, you need to set time for this. So you will be able to think and to develop the ideas. Because one thing that we talk about is that we are constantly bombarded with a lot of information and we can't focus on knowing where do we even want to go. So I strongly recommend to have maybe 1 hour, 2 hours set for these tasks. I don't know if I missed some comments. Hello from US. Huh. Mayor in Tech, great. What about your weekly reflection page? Can we have a deeper look at it? Yes, here is the weekly review. And we're going to see a Eisenhower Matrix. So the task here is to set 3 SMART goals for your professional development. So I'm going to give you some ideas. These you will develop in your own time. We are not going to take much time right now. But remember your dreams. I want to be, I want to do, I want to become, I want to achieve. So in the beginning, we gave a lot of ideas. So we are going to turn those dreams into ideas, and those are ideas into reality. We have 15 more minutes. So let's finish this so we can answer some questions. Set 3 SMART goals for your professional development. So, goals. maybe you want to buy a house, you want to run a marathon, you I really want to do this one, get some vitamin C, vacation time. I really love that song from Old City. He's one of my favorite artists. I need some vitamin C and be fluent in Spanish so I can talk to Esteban in his native language. So those are some goals that you can have. And then you need to turn these into SMART goals. So what are SMART goals? SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So for example, instead of having save more money or eat out less, you may want to do some goals like spend 30 minutes practicing the piano every day during this month instead of learning piano. Walk 10,000 steps each day during the next 3 months instead of be more active, and so on. I'll share these ideas with you in I think if we can share this through email, or I don't know. um, well, I'll investigate into that later. But yeah, these are the ideas that you need to shape. Instead of buying a house, you may want to save more money in order to buy the house. But in order to save more money, you may want to save or which one? Yeah, save 5% of each paycheck for the next year instead of saving for a vacation or for a house. Oh, great, thank you. Uh, so I'll paste this. SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, are relevant, and time bound. Oh, yeah, step by step. So the idea of the SMART goals is that we're going to link them to the weekly review, is that we want to have these goals that will give you the next step. I'm going to show you how does this look in Notion in a matrix. So you have your goals, you have your SMART goals. Then what you're going to do, I'm going to share this template with you. Uh, this is the Eisenhower Matrix. This is the second step. So first, you're going to set 3 SMART goals. Then you're going to use the Eisenhower Matrix to prioritize your current task list. So set, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes to set 3 SMART goals. Then I really like this about Notion, really, really like it. If you write your goals in Notion, for example, let's say that these are the 3 goals that you want to achieve. You can drag them with these 6 dots, and you can put them into a database. So if you can see here, these 3 goals are now in a database. So you can transform each Notion block into another thing. So instead of having a blog, you have now a page. That's great. But I know, because I saw the curriculum, that you're going to learn more about these things about Notion in the other sessions. So I'm not going to spend much time of this with this. One thing I want to share with you is one of the best features of Notion is the ability to have different perspectives from the same information. This is, for me, the best use case for uh, databases. For example, we have a list here. It's not very different from a list here, but if you add some properties to this list, you can turn it into a table. So this table is exactly the same items from this list. And in here, you are going to change the importance, and the urgency. So we're going to start with this one. So Eisenhower Matrix is that you are going to shape your tasks or your goals by importance and urgency. So let's say that you have a assignment for tomorrow. Maybe it's not the most important thing in the world, because it's, I don't know, 5% of the grade, and you have another assignment that is 20% of the grade. So one is more important than other, but one is due tomorrow and one is due 1 week from now. So one is urgent, is not that important, but the urgency uh, is relevant because if it's due tomorrow, you need to do it today. If it's due in 1 week, then you can do the one that is due tomorrow, today, and then tomorrow you can do the one that is due in the next week. So maybe that wasn't that clear, but uh, in order to do this Eisenhower matrix in Notion, you are going to add two, sorry, two properties. One is importance and one is urgency. These properties are uh, type select. So I change the icon in here, like edit property. I change it here, and I have just important, not important, urgent, not urgent. So what you're going to do with all your tasks is that buy my own house. Well, this is important because I want to have my own house, but this is not urgent because I don't need to do it right now, but I want to do it eventually. I want to talk to Esteban in Spanish. So this is a smart goal. Complete one chapter of the Spanish course each week for the next 2 months. So this is very urgent and this is very important. So if you see, I added a sort here. So importance, ascending, urgency, ascending. So the most important tasks here and the most urgent tasks here are at the top. The important but not urgent at below that. And then we have the not important but urgent and the not important and not urgent. So these ones you should eliminate. This is an example. I think this is important, but just for the sake of the example, let's say that, hey, this is not important, this is not urgent, so I shouldn't do it. So I'm going to delete this. And that's what we mentioned previously about eliminating. It's important as is as important, or maybe sometimes more important than setting goals, is the importance of eliminating goals. So you have this table of important and urgent. So what you can do here also is to have a column. This is a layout of board, and you can subgroup by importance. So you have the important. I'm going to change this. Here is the important and urgent. This is the important and not urgent, and then we have the not important, but um, urgent, and then we have the not urgent and not important. This is better if we have this view here. So we have this Eisenhower matrix in here. So the first thing is that you need to do this kind of tables. Here's a mood board. This has the same information, but as I mentioned, the perspectives are the thing that is very important in Notion. As you can have like a big goal, and have like supported by, and these are small goals. I'm going to share this template with you later so you can have an example of that. And then this is my weekly review. So if you start today, you'll start like this: weekly review, week 46, 2023. So calendar, November 12th until November 18th. Main goal: think carefully about how you shape your tools today, for they will shape you tomorrow. I'm going to make this bigger. So my main goal is to think about the goals that I'm shaping. And maybe I can add this to my tasks, and you're going to see that later this or next week about how to prioritize your tasks. So maybe if you have these goals, you can add a task and do it with the other system that you'll see later. Here's the important aspect of this template. And if you just remember one thing of this entire time, is that you need to have constant adjustment to your goals. I like to do this weekly. You can do it bi-weekly, but this is the method I use. What went well? What should I keep doing? What didn't work? What do I want to do to improve it? So, for example, what went well? So uh, I started doing my Notion workspace. What should I keep doing? Maybe I should get inspired by others, because I already started my Notion workspace, but I need more inspiration. So, okay, what didn't work? Okay, I spent a lot of time building my workspace, but I didn't get anything done because I was busy trying to set up everything. So I didn't oops, uh, I don't know, achieve my goal because I was distracted. And what do I want? What do I want to do to improve it? Okay, so I want to limit myself or my time to build my workspace to 15 minutes a day. So if you have that limit, you are going to think, okay, what's the most important thing I need to do in my workspace? I just have 15 minutes. Okay, I'm going to do that. And then for the next week, you can review your goals. So you can copy the link to your goals in here. So if you go to the Eisenhower Matrix, you can go here, three dots, and copy link to view. And then you can do a template. This is the template, new week. And then you can add this as a linked view of database. So each week you will take a look at your goals and you can say, I haven't worked on this. I need to improve my health, so I need to drink water. I was focusing on doing exercise, but I realized that I need to drink more water, and that's more important for my health this week. So you start a new week. Maybe it's the next one, week 47. I don't remember. Yeah, 47. Calendar from the 19th to 25th. The main goal is to drink, or where's my smart goal? Oh, yeah, here it is. Um, Here, increase daily water intake to 8 glasses for 40 days. So I'm going to do this the next weeks. Let's say that. So this is my main goal, and I'm going to set a reminder for the next Sunday, reminder on day of event, and that's it. When I apply the template and I add water. So next Sunday, I'll get a reminder that I need to answer these questions. What went well? What should I keep doing? What didn't work? What do I want to do to improve it? So if you see, you need to keep iterating on your goals. So I have 3 years pursuing some of the same goals. Some of my goals have changed, but I was able to achieve a lot more because I started doing these weekly reviews about my tasks. So this is how I use Notion for goal setting and prioritization. I'm going to share these two resources with you. I'm going to get in contact to the organizers. Yeah. And I'm going to share this. It's not a to-do list. It's something that is very dynamic and it keeps improving with you. And the most important aspect is that you need to keep reflecting on your direction or where you are going. So the time's up. We kind of made it into 1 hour. This is a process that took me a lot of months, a lot of books to develop. So if you have questions, you can contact me, and I recommend those books that I mentioned. Um, I think the most important aspect, I'm going to stop sharing. The most important aspect of Notion is to know why to use it, not how to use it. So thank you, everyone. Sorry, I don't have time for questions, but I'll try to talk later with the organizer on how we can answer those questions. So thank you. That's all for me.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Esteban. This was a lovely session, I would say. And someone was saying in the comments, I saw that the course is a great thing, but this was much more like a therapy for them. So 10 out of 10. And I would say thanks for the in-between Spanish tutorials as well. I really love that. So thanks a lot. And so sorry everyone. We won't be able to take up the questions since we are out of time for this one. But don't worry, we have a lot of sessions that are coming up. And if your question is not answered in the upcoming session, we will try and arrange another session after the course ends with some of the speakers so that you can ask your doubts live with them. And that will be a very informal session, and we will keep on doing them so that all of your doubts get answered too. So don't worry about that. And thanks a lot again for joining us today. See you at the same time on Friday, where we will learn about time management techniques. Till then, you can connect with the fellow learners in the networking launch, and you can even share your learnings on socials using hashtag ADPList Notion. Feel free to tag Esteban and our official handles as well, and you will stand a chance to get featured on our official handles. Thanks again. Have a great week and see you on Friday.